This is from krukcards again for a total of $6.19. Here is, I guess, the card list. Soap, Counterfeit Lover, 1981. Soap is one of Boris's favorite paintings. He always allows his backgrounds to dry before he paints a figure. Interesting. And it looks like he's holding a bar of soap, very long nails. I guess he's just taking a bath. Is that a bar of soap or a rat? Now I'm thinking that's actually like some kind of a creature she's holding that, you know, is half bar soap and then half something licking her body. Very interesting detail here. I do like how he took the elbow. It looks very realistic actually. Like I thought this was a photograph when I first turned it around. Siren Song, 1979. At the time of this painting's release, it was very controversial. Boris never allows controversy to prevent him from painting any subject matter. Looks like we got a human lady with a gargoyle, angel, harpy type of a creature, lovely wings, what seems to be a floating piece of fruit. She does have scales on her leg, but the feathering on this lady is very unique, and her helmet very pretty. Pandora, 1989, the Spanish language version of Amazing Stories was the introduction to science fiction art and literature Boris was exposed to as a child. The magazine had black and white illustration. Let's take a look at this card. Ooh, if I was this lady, I would be quite scared. The full picture here. That looks like a digibox, something where people put bad spirits in a long time ago to lock up bad spirits. And it looks like she's unleashed multiple spirits or demons. I really want to say that. Try to keep my hands as steady as possible here. Very dark mermaid and Triton. Underwater subject matter is a favorite of Boris to paint. Ironically, Boris doesn't swim. That's okay. I don't swim either, but I do like underwater material. To take a moment to take a look at this picture. I wonder if there's any way to like prevent the light from actually like being in the picture. There you go. Very love picture here. The mermaid tails look extraordinary. Their hair just flows in the water. I love the appears the sun is coming from this angle here. Very beautiful picture here in the deep five space colonies. In 1965, Boris took on his first freelance job, penciling, inking, and lettering a 12-page Green Beret comic for $200. He worked on the job every night to earn money to bring his younger sister to the United States. Ooh, I'm guessing this is probably the cover of the comic, potentially. We got the space station up in the sky. We got lots of nice transitioning pictures here. This is probably the characters. Gateways in the Sand, 1976. This is not a book cover, but actually an ad for the Book of the Month Club for Doubleday. Ooh, what is this? We got a very unique creature here and a UFO with what looks like a cut gem. I don't know what kind of gemstone it is. I don't know if that's supposed to be the entire creature in space or like just the face of it and then a separating picture and then another gem just embedded in the painting. Flying Centaur, 1980. This is a very controversial painting. Boris insists that the observer imagination creates this controversy. And I can see why this is very controversial. It appears in the painting that the lady and the man are having intercourse. But I would like to assume that the dick's here, you know? I mean, the penis. I probably should censor this out. I'm probably gonna have a rated 18 plus since these cards have nudity. But yeah, wouldn't the penile structure be here? I can see why with his hands on her waist and his other hand on her shoulder. I think it would be kind of awkward if it was over here because it seems like it would be exposed. Nice wings though. It seems to be flying over a canyon with mountains and a desert. This is very interesting because this mountain seems like something that wouldn't be connected to a desert of formations, but it is. The Lassus, 1990, female bodybuilder, Athena, modeled for this painting soon after retiring from bodybuilding competition. Her dramatic posing ability makes her an excellent model for Boris. You can definitely see she was a bodybuilder, not like the ones we see today, but very strong Amazonian lady with definitely the hairstyle of the day, very fluffy and puffy, but the striations of the musculature is very nice. Like it looks very real here on her, I don't know what kind of pose that is, but her tippy toes, very nice. This arm is slightly awkward. Nice forearms, honestly. I think that's Mount Everest. About Boris learned mostly by instinct how to paint. His son Dorian, also a professional painter, is much more analytical, learning from his art teachers and reasoning out everything he does on an illustration. Tiger ladies, Amazonian, very feral with the jungle, very winding branches here, very fluffy hair again. These claws, look at her nails. Dude, that's scary. I don't know how well you can see. Those eyes are very cat-like, predatorial, Vallejo, The Red Terrors. 1976, meticulous fans of Doc Savage wrote Boris after he painted his Doc Savage book cover. They informed him that the artists before him always painted a written Doc Savage shirt on the opposite side. I guess this is variation. We got Harpy guys. Looks like, I don't know what creatures those are, but clothing on this guy is very realistic, and you can see the fangs popping on his arm. He is very strong looking. I can't tell if this is his hair or his helmet. 11 Winds of War, 1990. This artwork was used for a video game. The male model is a favorite of Boris's, whose name is Nick Lafitola. He was a Mr. America contender who is 5'7", weighs 235 pounds, jeez, and can squat over 800 pounds and benches over 500 pounds. He is a heavy person for 5'7". Here we go. After being bitten by a non-poisonous, venomous snake, Boris went on to paint this picture. The European movie The Church copied this exact image in one of its scenes. Vampire's Kisses, or Vampire's Kiss, 1979. That vampire, I'm guessing, is kissing the lady and scratching her butt, and she is bleeding from her butt with his nails. They are embracing each other, even though that seems kind of painful, but I guess she's enjoying that, though I would be incredibly scared of that creature. Big Bang, 1983. For a gallery exhibition, Boris likes to have at least 20 to 30 paintings to show. That is looking like a spaceship battle, or not a battle, maybe just flying with other spaceships. Workout, Boris does very few book covers, averaging only 5 or 6 a year. Collection item, people working out, showing off their muscles and body. That is what bodybuilding is about. The Dragon and the George, 1976. Boris himself posed as the knight in this painting. A red suit of armor and rocking horse were his props. Wow. That lady is hugging a wolf and there's a dragon. Are they going to battle? I'm not sure. Are they friends? Probably. The Dragon and the George II, 1976. The publisher had another artist paint larger panties on the female figure after Boris delivered this painting, feeling it was too revealing. Namja, 1990. The average size painting Boris works on is 20 by 30 or 24 by 30. The largest painting he has ever done was 30 by 40 and the smallest was 15 by 20. Steve's, 1976. Boris enjoys painting humorous works, but only for his own amusement. Once the possibility of deadlines are put on the cartoons, the fun is over for him. Go very scared ship. Looks like these hooligans or pirates sparring each other or fighting to the death. Hercules, 1989. Boris' paintings are obtainable through contacting him directly or through his agents. This guy looks very strong. Javelin, posing in this painting, is Miss Olympia of 1984, Carla Dunlap, one of the pioneers of female bodybuilding. Take a look here. She has a very interesting dog lizard thing and javelin. She's like a very strong warrior lady. 2-1 Virgo. For greater control of his reference material, Boris has built a complete photo studio and processing lab in his home. Beautiful ladies in the mountain with a mist. Clouds Caliber, 1983. This was a magazine illustration about the book Mists of Avalon. Leo, 1987, going to gyms and receiving referrals from gym owners helps Boris find new models for his painting. Very cool painting here. 9 and a couple. Aquarius, 1987, Boris collects bodybuilding magazines, which he truly loves. He has collected over 5,000 of them. Oh wow. Is he himself a bodybuilder? He must love the human figure. This guy is dumping water on a mountain. Live tattoos. This painting was made for a company that makes temporary tattoos. Some of their tattoos were used in the movie Tattoo. This lady has a fairly nice oriental looking tattoo actually. Very cool artwork here. 26, Amazon Writer, 1983. Bodybuilding helped lead me into painting muscular figures in my illustrations. Wow, that's a scary horse. Very scary warrior lady here. Elijah II, unpublished. Boris used himself as a model for all 4 male figures in the painting. Oh, I guess we get to see Boris himself. Very interesting work here. They're all looking at something, not sure what it is. Aries, 1987, Boris sells more of his originals abroad than within the United States. Interesting, because the United States do not appreciate art as much, maybe other European, Oriental nations. Even though some of Boris's paintings have religious overtones, he stays away from controversial, but not mixing religion with fantasy. Thirst, 1984. Looks very religious actually. The person actually looks like a photograph. That's how realistic it looks, honestly. Mistress of the Cats, 1987. When painting, Boris says he does not think exclusively about what he is illustrating. His mind is usually on many other things as well. Lots of ferocious cats, the cheetah, lion, and leopard, the Black Panther, Venus on the half shell, 1987. In my paintings, backgrounds are a means to an end and not an end unto itself. I use them to help the figures stand out, put them in a certain atmosphere, and give a feeling of where they are. Backgrounds are not the main issue of my painting, and you can see that clearly. Chalmette, 1990. My colors are now more intense, bolder in contrast, making my darks darker and my highlights lighter. I feel my figures over the years have become more exciting than before. Let's see that. Okay, this person has fiery hair and a fiery arrow. Very nice bow. I really like that bow. Onslaught. With a short deadline, Boris had to use his favorite female model to pose for both figures. Notice the more delicate features on the male figure. Looks like giants versus humans. I would be quite terrified. Abgal, 1990. Boris has no favorite science fiction or fantasy authors. He has found the writings of Edgar Rice Burroughs, though easiest to achieve visual concepts when read. This thing is a merman killing some kind of creature. Chakra, 1983. This painting was based on the Eastern representation of the chakras of the body. Boris did 5 different paintings for this client. Take a look at that moon. Lots of things going on in this moon. Deathstalker for 1991. Ladies is the tentative title of Boris' new book, published by the American Library. The book theme is based on contemporary view of women in mythology. Oh man, ferocious battle looks like it's going on here. Lots of creatures, and I can't tell if that is half human, half creature. Maya, 1987. Boris' daughter Maya posed for this painting. Her birthday, July 3rd, falls under the zodiac sign of Cancer. Maya, okay, looks like a fury demon, Ifrit, maybe, and the daughter looks like she's worshipping, maybe, embracing. So this is Cancer, right? That's Boris' daughter, 38. In the Moons of Boria, 1978, 75% of Boris' posters have been printed for the European market, which makes sense. This is the one, the backside of that. 39, Scorpio, 1987. For the Zodiac calendar, Boris conceived the illustration as realistic figures with flat graphic design backgrounds. The publisher rejected this idea in favor of realistic figures and backgrounds. Scorpion, with that lady on top, very interesting. I don't understand how the scorpion standing on 3 legs on top of that mountain, but that's how it's depicted. This is artwork for a video game. It had existed box art, but the video company had Boris paint new art in his style, 40-star control. Though each finger has claws. Lady in red, sculpting is an art form Boris would like to try in the future. New alien planet, lady in red. First love. If a client does not set boundaries for a concept on a painting, Boris will create his own by creating situations in his mind and then transferring them to the board. Okay, I don't know if that is crystal ball. I don't know what kind of setting this is, but it looks like a fairy and human or really tiny person. Or they might be regular size. Amazon Queen sketch. Boris has given up trying to match exactly the image he creates in his mind. Sometimes he says his paintings come out better, sometimes not as good, but always different. Posing ladies. Shoot the Bow, 1978. His early work in advertising and fashion art taught Boris how to be patient and neat, as well as how to handle deadlines. Oh, and Shooter, Equestrian. Even today, Boris had to watch out for contracts for commissioned works that are work for hire. Formats where the commissioning party incorrectly acts as if it is the owner of the copyright of the artwork. Interesting creatures with ladies riding them. Nerds. Some of Boris' early movie poster work was for such movies as The White Buffalo, Barbarella, and Orca. Looks like people in the waves. Looks like they are part of it. Kamunda, 1989. Boris knows his paintings will outlast him and hopes people like his art as much as he loves doing it. I must say, I do really like his art, which is one of the reasons why I bought it. Artemis, 1990. Boris writes the copy for his calendars. The latest offering is the 1992 Mythological Beasts, published by Workman. Commanding wolves against a centaur. Medea, Strathmore illustration board made of 100% cotton is the material on which Boris paints. He fears this is smoother than canvas. Looks like elementalist people and dragon defeated. Satellite. Before coming to New York City at the age of 23, Boris never traveled farther than 50 miles from his home in Lima, Peru. Coming to America, Boris saw snow for the first time. Earth Magic Duel, 1978. One of Boris's biggest frustrations is not putting the fire in as well as he would like. Android 1980, The Boy Who Saved the Stars, published by Starlog Future Publications in 1978, is the only children's book Boris has illustrated. He completed the 32-page full-color book in 15 days. It does not look like a children's book at all. Queen Scepter, born in 1941, Boris will paint for as long as he can, hold a brush in his hands, and says retirement is not in his future. Shotput 1986, the publisher and Boris decide together on the subject matter for each year's calendar. Guy facing off catapults, interesting. Libra 1987, Boris doesn't know if surrealistic images would be necessarily commercial, but would like to attempt to paint in this style because it would be a departure for him. Aesthetic looking painting, Pisces, Boris used his son Dorian as the model for this painting since his birth sign is Pisces, mermaids, very wonderful looking picture. Aphrodite 1989, Boris liked the way he handled the lighting in this picture. Whenever he has more than one person in the painting, he prefers to have three. If he has two people, he prefers them to be a man and a woman. Firewalk in 1986, feeling people would not be able to pronounce or remember his last name, Boris has always signed his paintings with only his first name. Person walking from fire or in fire. Wolfmaster 1983, the worst thing for an artist to do is believe his own press. I think that's everyone, really. Talisman on censorship, Boris views the country has become more conservative. He believes adults should have the freedom of choice and set their own individual standards. I agree. Donkey wings. That's funny. Angel, the concept of being the best is an illusion. I feel I have a long way to go. Wow, that is very lovely feathers for that. The sorceress and the drag, due to extreme high temperature the day the photos were taken for this painting, the female model lying on the floor actually fainted during the photo session. Oh boy, I wonder what the photos are like. How are they still? That's funny. It's funny. They used the fainted model. Should have gotten her into an ambulance. I would be worried if a person fainted on my set. Seduction 1984. Both models in this painting are illustrators. Boris has said artists seem to make some of the best models. Looks like a demon taking away souls. Romance. Boris does not use himself as a model for his paintings anymore. He prefers to be on the other side of the canvas. Lovely union of two people. A Mython. Boris considers himself a fantasy illustrator and not a science fiction illustrator. He views mythology falls under the fantasy category. I wonder who this person is supposed to represent. He does have an unusual weapon. Aurora. The difference between science fiction and fantasy illustration, Boris fears, is that science fiction has more information based on fact. There's more technology and hardware involved. With fantasy, almost anything goes and there's no need for scientific fact. Makes sense? She looks like she's gonna get hypothermia and it's getting covered by snow. Angel 2. This painting is based on a book about a man's obsession with a woman. Boris' surrealistic approach conveys this idea. Boris would like to have a more surrealistic approach to his paintings. Oh, interesting. That is pretty surrealistic. And coin. Boris is nearsighted. He finds this disadvantage in his work. Nature Lady, both goblins. Oops, maybe. The Broken Sword, the Troll, 1971. In this painting, Boris modeled for both the hero and the troll. Okay, interesting depiction. Usually I would say it's opposite, but I guess the troll is kidnapping the lady. The Ice Tuner, Boris came to New York at the suggestion of an American art director at an American advertising agency in Lima, Peru. He told Boris that what he could get paid in New York for one illustration was equivalent to what he would make in Peru for an entire year's work. Hawaii 3.0. Since arrival in the USA, Boris has always lived close to New York City because of its art market. He claims he can feel the energy emitting from New York that drives him to do his work. Now this looks like a scene more in Florida or Hawaii. Demon in the Mirror. Boris has several reps located on the east and west coast, the Midwest, and Europe. He has an agent representing him for licensing, but likes to handle commissioned work directly. Magnificent Pussy. Since 1984, one time Boris found 2 boxes of old bodybuilding magazines at an antique shop. He bought almost all the magazines and they're still looking for more. Showtime, the same agent who commissioned the Green Beret comic also got Boris his first freelance painting. It was a woman painted for a men's magazine. Okay, puppet controlling puppets. Oh man, operator, lots of puppet work. Acroonian, Boris used himself as model for Conan. The boy was Boris' son, Dorian. Swords and serpents. This artwork cost Boris money. Okay. After doing 6 different sketches for the client, the video game company declined, refused to pay the full bill. Boris had to pay his lawyer more money than what the job paid to retrieve his spinning tennis gummy for the video game company. He should out them, tell us what company that was, but they probably got bankrupt. Starting in 1980, Boris arranges 17 or 18 colors on his palette before he paints. He never changes the order of the paints of the position of his desk. Okay, wordings. The serpent. Boris feels the best illustration art is being done in the United States. Robobug. In the past, Boris has won many awards. He is actually against awards for professionals, but feels competition is a good measuring tool for a young artist. The maker of Universes, 1977. If I would have stayed in Peru, I would not have had the chance to focus on specific subject matters in art as I have with fantasy. Sometimes you just gotta move out of a bad neighborhood to get going. Space Captive. This is one painting of many used in a bold advertising campaign by a men's clothing chain. The advertisements were very successful and won many awards. You know what clothing chain this was? Magic Ring. Boris won a scholarship from the Italian embassy in Peru to study art in Florence. At the age of 16, family problems prevented him from making use of the award. Sucks to be poor. There's always a setback, though I'm not sure his family was poor. Swordblade. The model used in this painting is an actor named Steve Holland, who has portrayed Flash Gordon on television. Oh man. You can see where the sci-fi comes into play. The creature, the story behind this image deals with a creature who was a brother to the man pictured. Oh boy. Why does he have a gun if they're brothers? Cyborg. Boris' early start in fashion and advertising art trained him in rendering different textures like glass, hair, cloth, metal, and more. He likes these repeated pictures. World jump. At 16 years, Boris was shy and extremely thin. At this age, he began bodybuilding. He hopes to continue his weight training as long as he lives. Makes sense? He likes painting and bodybuilding. Very unique set. Prisoners. Boris had talked about creating his own characters and retaining full copyright. He would prefer to showcase them in a syndicate strip format. Spring Garden. Many of Boris' originals have been sold to collectors all over the world. Most of his paintings are for sale. There are a few I wouldn't sell for the right price. Butterfly Lady. Dorian. Boris did not influence his son to become a painter. Dorian was first wanted to be a tennis player. He figured that by age 18, if he was not where he wanted to be in tennis, he would go into illustration. Tennis player, eh? Then it's checklist. Here we go. Okay. Now comments, which one's your favorite? If you paint, or you like bodybuilding, or does anyone even know of this artist at all? Which cards are favorites? There are a lot of them. This is what my binder kind of looks like right now. Really cool. And then the checklist card. Okay, thank you. Bye.